with Lulu Gabu a bit earlier, we were talking about Donald Trump and the tariff hikes in India that have doubled to 50% because they have bought Russian oil. I mean, can you actually believe that this, I mean, what a time to be alive. You know, I don't even know what to say. I'm so gobsmacked by what is currently happening, and you must be really full of opinions yourself about what is taking place, not only on the African continent, but globally, because we are now a global village. We're trading with one another. I'm sure you've got business interests that are affected by what is happening with the current tariffs as imposed by the US. Any thoughts that you may have before we get into what caught your eye in this very hour? You're welcome to share with me at Channel Africa 1. Use the hashtag The Upside so that I'm able to track the conversation with you. Happy Friday.
No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
This August, we celebrate the strength, brilliance, and unstoppable spirit of African women.
It was the women themselves who strove for and got the changes by lobbying, going through NGOs, and by networking.
That's you, ladies. From the boardroom to the classroom, from the marketplace to the microphone, women are leading, innovating, and transforming our continent every day.
Oh, here's to knowing that as a woman, your voice can change the world.
Your voice matters. Your story inspires. Your presence is powerful. This Women's Month, we honor you. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Stella Longwe, Pamalonje.
Palitusokoma pano pamalonje kumvera nyimbo za mu Africa kusangalala kupeza moyo akuti kumva moyo kuti kuyenda bwino pano pamalonje ndiyetu apa tili ndikatswiri oyimba ameneyu ndikatswiri wa dziko la Malawi amene akukhala mdziko la South Africa ndipo amayimba amene akuti ndi Big Nick Malawi. Yatusati kuti kodi moyo wanu oyimba ukuyenda bwanji mu Johannesburg?
Moyo oyimba ukuyenda bwinobwino kwambiri, chiliyonse chikutheka ndithu bwinobwino.
Ayi aziwoneka chiliyonse chikutheka mofa magrasi anu apa mwaka akuti kumenya yonse aziwoneka zoti azikutheka ndithu mu Johannesburg.
Malonje, panthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lowiruka ndi Stella Longwe. The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters.
Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire. Sina singi, sina bingi, mukado muksa. Oh, ulisenge dala, don't wake up, mazima. Holy Ghost fire, Holy Ghost fire, Holy Father. Yelusa, Yerusalem, Gologosa, happiness. Yelusa, Yerusalem, Gologosa, happiness. Yelusa, Yerusalem, Gologosa, happiness. Yelusa, Yerusalem, Gologosa, happiness. Jerusalem.
Coming through where I go. Fear can't hold me, I keep on going. Keep my head strong. No matter what, I keep on going. I don't know one thing. I'm falling, but still I fade out with. Ding, money stay on my mind.
nikangechimire abanyiko bandera bisere mukwano nkoyo kulinda musana kutagire mukijengenda kuba mukijengenda linya livuge mukijengenda Holy Father Jerusalem, Golgotha, happiness, Jerusalem, Golgotha, happiness, Jerusalem, Golgotha, happiness, Jerusalem, Golgotha, happiness,
Channel Africa, your voice, your sound, and your home. Stay logged right here.
Body they throw me like coconut. Body they rising like no. I say color your crocodile, no good this crocodile. Tell you they bossy my color. Can make a salute your commando. Tell if you balance Diego, I give you paper. No good do me Diego, my Maradona. Tell if I love your sueto, no more for tell your back, keep it connected, and I can follow your Cresco. Today, down the Cresco, pay for your waist, and I can pay for your lace, but day for your waist. Today, down the Cresco, pay for your waist, pay for your lace.
Look into the table, be there when I pull up, no I'm messing. Be there when I pull up. Leave it there. But she wanna leave it there. So let me lift it up. You know what happened when I'm gonna be though. So many what you do, still one reason. So I said, we all know what you need. Tell me your love, don't waste my time. I want to get low special. I want to reach ecstasy. I want to have sex. I want my stuff. I need you and nobody. Ask God if you got my help. So we can know you can meet me out here. She wanna fall like I need you and nobody else. Ask God if you got my help. So we can know you can meet me out here.
Tell if you balance Diego, I give you paper. No good do me Diego, my Maradona. Tell if I love your sueto, no more for tell your back, keep it connected. Follow your Cresco. Tell me where you day, oh more day. Say look, when a kilometer for your ways. So gotta shika, to get shika, say me so go shika. What is the use of my money? I'm smoking, not a gun need it. She want you for Mugara, I be with you. She say, baby, I got me, your thing, they touching my belly. Je m'aime faire
Jesus, hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. As I sing, hallelujah.
Girl, if you balance.
Thanks for tuning in, coming through with some vibrant, proudly African music. And if you were to see our social media specialist Sfiso do his thing on the dance floor, he's literally turned the studio into a dance floor. You would be very proud, okay, of how this music just moves and grooves us. Coming through with Victomi with Soweto. Ahead of that, Uga Boys came through with Gologosa. Thank you very much for being here and enjoying this wonderful Friday afternoon with us. We're in each other's company until 4 p.m. in Central African time. So we're going to come through with what caught your eye, but very quickly just want to let you know that the South African Broadcast Corporation, or SABC as we call it, is pleased to announce the launch of the new self-registration platform. Vendors wishing to do business with the SABC can self-register on our internally developed platform. So vendors are able to access this platform on our website, www.sabc.co.za, and then under e-tenders or self-register. All right, is where you can find it. So just go on etender.co.za if you're not able to locate it under the main website. Okay, so etender.sabc.co.za, and then you can follow the prompts from there. So visit SABC social media pages for more details, and let's get this business going.
Africa, voici Abedi.
Oui, c'est moi.
Abedi est un passionné de musique dans l'âme. Il a un goût pour toutes sortes de musique et passe ses journées à écouter Channel Africa.
J'aime beaucoup la musique africaine.
Ok. Devinez quoi? Channel Africa veut aider Abedi et les mélomanes du monde entier à découvrir encore plus de musique incroyable. C'est pourquoi Channel Africa appelle les artistes africains à soumettre leur musique. Chers artistes, n'oubliez pas de nous fournir toutes vos informations pertinentes à l'email adresse musique@channelafrica.co.za. Les soumissions sont votre chance d'être entendues, mais elles ne garantissent pas une playlist. Toutes les soumissions seront soigneusement examinées pour voir si elles répondent aux exigences de notre station. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
Je, una jambo lolote akilini mwako? Je, una shauku kuhusu masuala muhimu? Na je, una maoni ambayo unataka yasikike? Kweli, hili jukwaa ni la kwako. Piga simu au tuandikie kwenda WhatsApp namba alama ya kujumulisha 2760552594 na tutakupigia simu.
Mtangazaji wa habari zetu za Afrika Kusini mjini Johannesburg.
Hivyo unaweza kuwa mshirika kwenye matangazo yetu. Sio mazungumzo tu, ni fursa yako ya kuchangia maoni yako na kushirikiana na jumuiya ya wasikilizaji wanaotamani mtazamo wako. Tufuate kwenye mitandao ya kijamii. Tembelea tovuti yetu www.channelafrica.co.za na uwe tayari kushiriki na kuchangia maoni yako kwenye Channel Africa. Channel Africa, mtazamo wa Kiafrika.
The Upside, taking the African perspective to fresh levels.
22 minutes past 1 p.m. in Central African time. Thank you very much for joining us on The Upside. We're still in the first hour of the show. So if you were paying attention to Tami Ngubeni, who brings you Africa in Business every single day between 4 p.m. and 5 p.m., then you would have noted she's been talking a lot about the tariffs, you know, and how they're affecting many regions here on the African continent, and what the story looks like and how it's unfolding on the continent. A big focus on East Africa as well. And of course, she spoke about the conversations and negotiations, if we could call them that are ongoing between South African President Cyril Ramaphosa and Donald Trump with regards to these ridiculous tariffs as we see them. But very interesting to note on an international footing is to see that Trump has imposed steeper, unjustified, unreasonable tariffs on India, and he's bumped them up to 50%. Okay. And has been condemnation from India around this announcement. They're calling it unfair, they're calling it unjust and unreasonable. So we're watching this one quite closely as well, because 50% is really no joke. So U.S. President, as reported in the news in the last 5 hours or so, he has imposed a steeper tariffs on India, on Indian goods, to be specific, over New Delhi's continued purchase of Russian oil, opening a new front in his trade war hours before another wave of duties takes effect. So the additional 25% tariff on Indian goods comes into place in 3 weeks. So look, I mean, this is terrible news. And I think for anyone that does business with India, you're also going to be affected, because you're not exempt from this 50% hike that is going to affect many products and many production spaces. So unfair, unjust, unreasonable are the words that definitely come to mind when we are looking at what's happening. You know, the foreign ministries around the world are up in arms, you know, because Trump is running the world. You know, what do you think of these tariff hikes? In fact, perhaps a bigger question is, how can we creatively problem solve at this stage? Because look, it is happening. It looks like it's unraveling, you know, at a pace that people all over the world are struggling to keep up with, thanks to Donald Trump. So the bigger question is, how are we going to creatively problem solve? I think particularly with, you know, continents and countries that are at the bottom of the food chain, if we could put it that way, that really have been reliant on relationships with the West. How are we going to creative problem solve? How are we going to break down borders for trade and economy, and how are we going to build on that? How are we going to shift legislations, you know, on the African continent to really sort of safeguard each other and ourselves, and looking at, you know, the dream that we had for free trade on the African continent? How are we going to protect that? How are we going to protect the economy of our continent? I would love to hear what your ideas are. I really do not have any solutions, because I'm just sitting here wide-eyed like a deer in headlines, absolutely shocked at what's happening. But perhaps you are working in the space of economics, or are an economist and have some creative ideas. I would love to hear from you. At Channel Africa 1 is who we are on Twitter. Use the hashtag The Upside, and I'll be able to track the conversation with you.
No fairy tales, just the facts and the music you love on Channel Africa.
You know, you don't know.
It's a song about it.
Love is a drug and I'm addicted. Pull up, show up and handle business. Love is a drug and I'm addicted. Pull up, show up and handle business.
Give me love, oh, baby, give me, make her calm down. Give me love, oh, cause I really need it right now. Give me love, oh, baby, give me, make her calm down. Give me love, oh, cause I really need it right now. Put me to work all day, put me to work all night. Nobody can do it better, make me feel alright. Anything you wanna do, I'm down with you. Anytime, any day, I go show face, cause you're sweeter than honey. Baby, you deserve a trophy. This kind of thing go make me marry, long as you no treat me corny. Give me love, oh, give me love, oh, give me love. Give me love, oh, give me love, oh, give me love. Give me love, oh, baby, give me, make her calm down. Give me love, oh, cause I really need it right now. Right now. Give me love, oh, baby, give me, make her calm down. Give me love, oh, cause I really need it right now.
Love is a drug and I'm addicted. Pull up, show up and handle business. Love is a drug and I'm addicted. Pull up, show up and handle business. Love is a drug and I'm addicted. Pull up, show up and handle
let me hold you, you should let me love you. And when you fall in, say let me go catch you. I know your friends don't want me around you. They know nothing, they don't understand you. My baby now my banana multi elevate. And when she there with me, I concentrate. That's why I tell them I got to wait.
Baby, one yo. What in you giving no money can buy. Even if you're not jarao, I go throw it. Baby, one yo. What in you giving no money can buy. Even if you're not jarao, I go throw it. Give me love, oh. Baby, give me make her calm down.
Music by Sam Shay with Gimme Love featuring Runtime. I feel like I actually need to say it correctly. It's Gimme Love, okay? Not Gimme Love. Gimme Love. I think that's the correct way to say it. This is us having a good time on a Friday. Welcome to the Upside. A pleasure to have you join us. We're going to be talking about a women's occasion that happens annually, and we're going to do so in the next hour. But I really want to encourage you to listen because this lineup is so solid. And for anyone that's going to be in the South African region, particularly in Johannesburg on the 24th of August, which will be a weekend, you want to hear more about it. Let's check in with sports. It's 1:30.
Get the news, music, and lifestyle of Africa on Channel Africa, the African perspective. Sports on Channel Africa, the African perspective.
A very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Musibu Dimakura with the latest sports news. At the SAWA, so the Confederation of African Football has slapped the Football Kenya Federation as well as the Tanzania Football Association with heavy fines following serious security and regulatory breaches during the ongoing 2024 African Nations Championship CHAN tournament. Now, CAF's disciplinary board, after reviewing reports from the tournament's early group stage matches, found that the FKF guilty of violating multiple sections of both the CAF disciplinary code as well as its safety and security regulations. The breaches took place during Kenya's opening Group A match against the DR Congo at the Kasarani Stadium, a game that drew massive crowds and also marked a historic start to this year's tournament. Now, among the incidents documented in the CAF security officer's official report was stampedes at Grade 11, unauthorized access to restricted public security areas, the alarming footage of a motorbike weaving through the crowd. So all fines must be paid within 60 days from the date of notification as stipulated in CAF's regulations. Well, Ghana's international Thomas Partey has joined La Liga club Villarreal following his release from Arsenal. The 32-year-old who signed from Arsenal back in 2020 left the Gunners when his contract expired at the end of June. Now, 4 days later, Partey was charged with 5 counts of rape against 2 women as a charge of sexual assault against a third woman. Partey, who denies the charges, was granted conditional bail on Tuesday at Westminster's Magistrates Court. Under the conditions of the bail, Partey must not contact any of the 3 women and must also notify police of any permanent changes of his address or international travel. In a statement, Villarreal said they are aware that the player is currently involved in legal proceedings in England. The charges against Partey followed an investigation which started in February of 2022. In cricket news now, the Proteas fast bowler Kagiso Rabada has urged his teammates to move on from their recent success in the ICC World Test Championship final and now concentrate on winning major tournaments. Now, the Proteas broke a long drought when defeating the Aussies in the World Test Championship final. This at Lord's Stadium earlier on in June. Rabada wants his players now to forget about the recent success and move forward.
Yeah, I think it was special, obviously, you know. I've done so many interviews on that. But yeah, I think it's time to move on now. I don't think we'll forget about that ever as a team, and South Africa won't ever. But time to move on now. Hey, the show moves on and we play the game of cricket. I guess so, you know. I guess it is. It's kind of like a relief. But yeah, the show moves on, and moving into the T20 World Cup, we'll approach it as we always have. I guess it will be a bit different now, you know. There's no fear of anything.
Tennis news now. Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko staged a stunning comeback on Thursday to defeat four-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka 2-6, 6-4 and 6-1, claiming her maiden WTA 1000 title at the Canadian Open. Now, the 18-year-old staged a remarkable comeback this after losing the opening set to the Japanese former world number one, who had established a 3-love lead as Mboko struggled with costly service errors. Now, however, the home favourite found her rhythm in the second set, a breaking serve to establish a 5-2 lead. Osaka then struggled to catch up, and her poor returns allowed Mboko to level the match and force a decider. The decisive moment, though, came in the third and final set when Mboko took a 3-1 lead after saving 4 break points in a pivotal fourth game that gave her a firm grip on the match, and she went on to claim the title after 2 hours and 4 minutes of play. And finally, the world number one Yannick Sinner said he had taken the right decision by opting for a long break following his Wimbledon triumph, and the recharged Italian is now ready to fire at the Cincinnati Open, where he will try and defend his title. The 23-year-old lost a marathon French Open final to rival Carlos Alcaraz in June before gaining revenge over the Spaniard at the All England Club just last month to secure his fourth Grand Slam title overall and second of a difficult season in which he served a short ban this after a doping offence. Now, Sinner opted to prioritise his health following that victory and will return after a near month-long absence from the circuit when he takes the court over the weekend in Cincinnati after getting through the first round by getting a bye. So the Cincinnati Open is a tune-up event for the US Open that runs from the 28th of August to the 7th of September. Well, that is a wrap from the sports desk at the Sawa. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, our email address is newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mosibu Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Parlez-vous couramment le français? Êtes-vous passionné par la radio? Et êtes-vous qualifié pour travailler en Afrique du Sud? Envoyez-nous votre CV et vos 3 minutes démo en MP3 à @channelafrica.co.za pour avoir une chance de rejoindre la famille Channel Africa. Si vous n'avez pas de réponse après 14 jours, cela signifie que vous n'avez pas été retenu. Channel Africa, la perspective africaine.
1:36 in the first hour of the Upside. Let's get a quick update from the business desk.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Mmatsheko. Good afternoon. South African Reserve Bank Governor Lesitsha Kganyago clarified the bank's targeting stance following statements by the National Treasury and President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier in the week, suggesting that the bank has unilaterally changed the inflation target. Speaking during the bank's annual general meeting, Kganyago told shareholders that the inflation target remains 3 to 6% with a focus at the lower range of the target.
All that the Reserve Bank had to say was that the target range is 3 to 6. It's wide, but the target range is 3 to 6. We used to aim in the middle, and we said we need a policy cushion. We will aim at the bottom. Why now? Why didn't you do this thing 20 years ago and aim for the lower end? I mean, inflation targeting had been there for 25 years. And the only reason it was done now was because inflation is already there.
South Africa's Minister of Environment, Dion George, has upheld a previous decision granting environmental authorization for state-owned power utility Eskom to build and operate a nuclear power station in Western Cape Province. Environmentalists had appealed against the original 2017 authorization for a new 4,000-megawatt nuclear power station being built at Doidfontein, close to Goebeek plant near Cape Town, that is currently the only existing commercial nuclear power in Africa. In a statement, George says the granting of an environmental authorization does not exempt an applicant from complying with any other applicable legal requirements or obtaining permits from other competent authorities. Women from all around the African continent have gathered for the Pan-African Transformational Leadership Summit in South Africa's Eastern Cape Province. Topics covered include entrepreneurship, transforming the public and private sector supply chain management, and financial services for women and the youth. The summit is in partnership with the non-governmental organization Africa for Africa and the Provincial Department for Social Development. Sisisi Halo reports.
Women gathered together with one voice of empowering one another. They came from various sectors which include government, non-governmental organizations, the private sector, and many more.
The African Development Bank will take the lead in helping to raise $7.8 billion for a new airport in Ethiopia. When completed in 2029, the airport will be the continent's largest and will have the capacity to handle 100 million passengers a year. State-owned Ethiopian Airlines signed an agreement for the design of the 4-runway airport near the town of Bishoftu, around 45 kilometers southeast of the capital Addis Ababa. While presenting Ethiopian Airlines financial results, Chief Executive Officer Melsfin Tessu said the airport's total cost will be $10 billion, with the airline providing 20% of the funding and the rest from creditors. The UN Food and Agriculture Organization says world food commodity prices rose in July to their highest in more than 2 years, driven by rising international prices for meat and vegetable oils. The organization says the food price index, which serves as a global benchmark for food commodity prices, averaged 130.1 in July 2025, marking a 1.6% increase from June. That was the highest reading since February 2023, though the index was 18.8% below its peak of March 2022. Let's shift our focus to financial indicators at this hour. $1 in Nigeria is at 1,000 naira 527, Botswana 13 pula 39, Kenyan the dollar is at 128 shillings 6, Zambia 23 kwacha 57. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5 real 45, Russia 79 rubles 45, India 87 rupee 56, China 71.18. South Africa, $1 is trading at 17 rand 73 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is at $3,389, platinum at $1,313 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil at $66.82 a barrel. That is all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802. Gender-based violence is destroying lives and tearing communities apart. It happens in homes, in schools, at workplaces, and too often in silence. But it doesn't have to continue. If you see it, speak out. If you are hurting, reach out. Because doing nothing is not an option. Listen to all 19 SABC radio stations from Wednesday 23rd of July for hard talk, discussions, advice, dramas, educational shows, and interviews around GBV with experts, survivors, lawmakers, and the whole country affected by gender-based violence. For all your favorite SABC radio stations, call 0800 428 428 to report abuse or get help. GBV, it ends with you. This message is brought to you by the SABC.
She builds, she leads, she rises. This August, join Channel Africa in celebrating the women who shape our communities, shift narratives, and carve out a future on their own terms.
These women together ought to be able to turn it right again.
From Cape Town to Kigali, Lagos to Lusaka, African women are rewriting the script. Here's to courage, creativity, and unstoppable progress. Channel Africa. the African perspective.
We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the upside.
All right, we're fast approaching 1:45 in Central African time. Thank you for joining us. If you're tuning in South Africa, you can catch us on satellite. That's on the DSTV audio bouquet, channel 802. Otherwise, OpenView HD as well, channel 628. Otherwise, the rest of the continent on channel PAS 10. Streaming audio visually for you to watch the show and listen to it at the same time. You can catch us on YouTube and Facebook. Just search for Channel Africa. I have some good news for you. If you're going to be in Johannesburg towards the tail end of August, I have some good news for you. This Women's Month, the Malibongwe Arts Festival Tribute to Women 2025 has made a big comeback, all right? Lighting up the stage at Marks Park in Emmarentia, and it's all going to be happening on the 24th of August, which will be a weekend. So you must just prepare to attend, okay? We're going to be celebrating the power, resilience, and artistry of women through music, and this is a festival that actually is known for bringing together legendary performers and fresh voices from across South Africa and beyond. So we're talking here about women who've also had an influence on the African continent through their music. Thandiswa Mazwai, Ami Faku, Makadzi, The Soil, which is a wonderful collective of young people that come through with a cappella music, and even UK soul sensation Keisha White is going to be joining in on this wonderful occasion this year. And it's such a big event that honors the incredible diversity and strength of women. And as I understand it, Dr. Griselda Kananda is also now leading as ambassador and chairperson of the Malibongwe Arts Festival Foundation. So there's a lot happening, okay, and it's all very exciting. I'm very excited this afternoon and very thrilled to be in conversation with the festival director and a man behind founding this wonderful occasion. Joe Chakela joins me on the line. Brajo, welcome to Channel Africa. A pleasure to connect with you once again. Welcome.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to your listeners.
Thank you. I think the last time we had a conversation was through the other radio station. We were talking live at the event about just how far this wonderful occasion has come over the years and how it's growing in leaps and bounds. And for those that obviously didn't catch that conversation, let's talk about the creation of Malibongwe Arts Festival Tribute to Women and, you know, just the inspiration for you in creating it.
We started this festival in 2018. And you will remember that for the longest time, we have had this scourge of violence against women and children. And also coupled with what has happened in South Africa prior to 1994, where families, you know, have been decimated to a point of dysfunctionality. So we then decided with my colleagues to say, we need to make a contribution to upliftment of women. We need to also, whilst it is important to fight and join the fight for violence against women and children, but we also need to look at good stories and tell those stories and celebrate the role models for the young children that are characters or actors in those stories.
Okay.
And that's when we started with Tribute to Women.
That is a beautiful story to track, and I know that every year you've got a big and profound agenda, you know, that you want to highlight through the curation of the artists that are going to be on stage, etc. So let's talk about the evolution and, you know, some of the big, strong themes that you can tell us about this year's occasion.
This year's edition, we have seen we are now growing. We decided to, you remember last year we brought on board Dr. Griselda Kananda as the festival ambassador.
Yes.
the Tribute to Women Ambassador, we were still working on the roles. What is it that we want to achieve? We want to go right into rural areas and discover women, especially, who are making big strides, not only academically or in other spheres, but also those who are working through the communities and uplifting the communities. And we decided that we will then approach the provincial governments in all 9 provinces to partner with us so that we uncover these heroines, and so that when we celebrate the festival in August, we bring them to Johannesburg and put a spotlight on what they do in their communities. So that is the reason why we started the Malibongwe Arts Festival Foundation. So we will be having programs. We're launching the festival on the 15th of this month on Friday at Joburg Theatre, where a lot of what we are going to do throughout the year, starting from September up to next year in July, will be unveiled at the launch.
I love this. I really love that. I mean, this is festivaling with a much bigger and grander purpose, bringing women from all walks of life into the fore to not only celebrate through music, but to highlight the work that they are doing in their communities. We're in conversation with Brajo Chakela, who is event organizer and the director behind the legendary, Tribute to Women concert that's going to be taking place on the 24th of August. And we're really talking about the big mission and the grand idea behind this festival. But also it looks like it's ongoing work. So beyond the celebration, what other work has been done in the name of shaping the festival's vision and goals? So we're going to continue the conversation. Let's take a short break.
The music you love. The music you love.
You're in my head, still can't explain.
On Channel Africa, the African perspective. The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Interracial relationships. And now you are based in the States and you are married to a beautiful white woman, white lady.
I learned that, for us in our culture, we literally can speak our mind. I remember when we had started dating and whatnot, and, she picked up like a little bit of weight. And me, I was like, oh, wow, you must be happy in this relationship because look at you. You look great. You're even picking up some weight. And she got really, really offended. And it took I think it was about a couple of hours before I could realize that, because I could tell that she was off after that. And it took me a while to figure out what it was. Until later when I was talking to her, I'm like, you were really, really off today. And then she expressed that, because you're telling me that I'm picking on some weight. And I'm like, in my culture, when you are gaining some weight, it means you're happy.
Yes.
So that's what I was trying to imply.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege. The Upside. On the Upside, your voice matters.
We are talking about the Tribute to Women concert that's coming through. It's an arts festival. And of course, also just the wonderful work to acknowledge is of the Malibongwe Arts Festival Foundation. And Brajo, you were talking to us about the ambassadorship of Dr. Griselda Gananda, whom we know as a broadcaster in South Africa. She's done wonderful work in highlighting, women and, dealing with matters around HIV and AIDS, for example. So I want to stay on her ambassadorship and her chairwomanship, if you will, under the foundation. Talk to me a bit more about her leadership and how that's going to be shaping the festival's vision and goals.
We have had a look at the work that Dr. Griselda Gananda has done over the last 20 years. You will remember that she is one of the first people in this country to come out indicating that she is HIV positive. And she had a talk radio station. She saved a lot of lives. She healed a lot of people in the country and destigmatized the HIV/AIDS stigma. So and throughout, so we looked at her, and when we wanted a person who will then be in a position to assist us in achieving the goals that we have set for ourselves, she fitted the bill. She fitted the bill. She ticked all the boxes. So I really take my hat off to the work that she has done in the past, and to the passion and enthusiasm that she is bringing to this project.
Okay. It sounds wonderful. The work of the foundation is very, very important and significant, but we're also very excited about the main event that's taking place on the 24th of August. Brajo, talk to us about this lineup. I mean, what a fine curation. Thandiswa Mazwai, Ami Faku, I see Makazi, I saw Keisha White there as well. So talk to us about this year's curation and the lineup of artists.
We've put in a formidable lineup. All those artists that you've just mentioned, including Mikasa, will be performing a tribute to women for the first time, except for Amy Faku. And Amy Faku started when we started the foundation. At that point in 2018, she was still a very emerging artist, and we provided the platform for Amy to become the star that she is now. And we're hoping that also with the foundation, we are going to uncover many Amy Fakus in this space and give them a chance to also flourish and become superstars. So we're having Thandiswa Mazwai headlining the festival. We have Mikasa, we have The Soil, Loiso, as I indicated, Amy Faku, Makati, and we also have a special guest, Keisha White, and bringing her all the way from the United Kingdom.
Okay.
So we urge people to come in numbers. Tickets are selling very fast, so that they are not left behind.
Okay, lastly, Brajo, where do we get the tickets? So it's happening on the 24th. We now know what to expect, great lineup. And it's also just so laudable to see that the festival is supporting women artists beyond providing a stage for performance. That's really amazing. So if I want to see some of my favorites, where do I go to purchase a ticket?
You buy the tickets at web tickets online,
okay,
or you can go or you can pay outlets, and that's where you will be able to get the tickets. We are at the moment still on phase one. Our early bird is sold out, so we are on phase one, which is about 300 and some odd rands, and then in a week's time or so, we'll be moving on to phase two. So people need to rush to get the tickets whilst they are still cheap.
Listen, if you don't rush, you're gonna simply miss out. It really is that simple, and we don't want that. Okay, so please purchase your ticket. Also, for more information, you go to is it tributeforwomen.co.za? Hey, the website for more information.
Yes, it's also on Facebook. Tribute to Women Facebook page.
Okay. So if you really want to kind of get a sense of the sights of what this looks like, sights and sounds, there's some video footage on the Facebook page as well. You can just simply type in Tribute to Women on Facebook, and it will lead you to the page for more information. But Joe, all the best. I think you and your team are working incredibly hard, and you're pushing the boundary of what festivaling can really look like for African people as an experience on an annual basis. So thank you very much. We'll see you on the 24th.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And thank you to your listeners. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. Joe Chakela joining us in his capacity as event organizer and director of a wonderful occasion, the Tribute to Women concert or festival as it's known, and it's brought to you by the Malibongwe Arts Festival Foundation this year. Really, really big to note the work that they are doing beyond just festivaling. It's really about growth and prosperity of women beyond that. A minute to go till it's 2 p.m. We're going to be standing by with the news bulletin. On Ellen's Inzi has got the latest for us.
Tune in and turn up the volume. This is Channel Africa. In this episode of Channel Africa Conversations, Peter talks to Dr. Tulisile Buddha, an academic, author, and an expert in indigenous knowledge systems. Join us for a compelling discussion on preserving African languages and traditions in the digital era. Dr. Tulisile unpacks the role of educators, explorers, and how technologies like AI can support cultural preservation, and challenges us to rethink how we honor African heritage. You can find the episode on YouTube, SABC Plus, and on our website, channelafrica.co.za. This episode is a must-listen for educators, creators, and change makers across the continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective. We are on Open Views Audio Bouquet. Channel 628. SABC News. The African perspective.
Look at your top stories this hour. The M23 rebels hasn't received an invitation for Doha peace talks, and Israel's security cabinet approves plans for expansion of the war against Hamas. Your latest news. Greetings to our listeners. The M23 rebel group has not received an invitation for peace talks with the Democratic Republic of Congo that are scheduled to begin in Doha today. A delay in the start of the talks risks disturbing an ambitious pledge by the two sides to end the fighting in eastern Congo that has killed thousands of people this year and displaced hundreds of thousands more. The M23 rebels seized eastern Congo's largest city, Goma, in late January as part of a rapid advance that has given them control of more territory than ever before. Under a parallel mediation effort hosted by Qatar, Congo and the M23 signed a declaration of principle on July 19th, in which they vowed to start negotiating a peace agreement no later than the 8th of August, with the goal of reaching a deal by the 18th of August. The Pretoria High Court in South Africa has ruled that the body of the late former Zambian President Edgar Lungu must be repatriated back home. This as the full bench of the Pretoria High Court unanimously ruled in favor of the Zambian government over the final resting place of the former president, Edgar Lungu. Delivering the judgment, Judge Obrili Dwaba says that Zambian government is entitled to package the body of the late president for a state funeral and a burial at the Embassy Park in Zambia.
The eighth respondent is authorized and ordered upon service of the court order by the sheriff of this honorable court to immediately surrender the body of the late President Lungu to a representative or representatives of the Zambian High Court to enable the applicant to repatriate the body to Zambia for the purpose stated in paragraph 4.
South Africa's Deputy President Paul Mashatile has officially unveiled a memorial bust in honor of the Umkhonto weSizwe former combatants that contributed to the liberation struggle in the Battle of Luhwayizo of 1987 against apartheid forces in Willowvale in the Eastern Cape province. Mashatile has assured the families that government will make sure that the remains of Umkhonto weSizwe combatants Bulelo, Ngono and other four former combatants are traced and found. Families are still seeking justice and the remains of Ngono. Family spokesperson Tobeka Ngono explains.
I really appreciate the monument, but this will not bring back my brother. This will not hold those that are responsible for his assassination accountable. This is just a token of appreciation All what I want is my brother's remains. What I want is justice. And we hope now that the deputy president is here, we will get closure to the trauma that we are going through.
South Africa's Umkhonto weSizwe Party's Deputy Secretary General, Nombuso Mkhize, has reportedly resigned from her position and has joined Flo Shivambu's Maibuye Dialogue Initiative. So Shivambu's camp confirmed her departure in a statement, saying Mkhize will now form part of the nationwide consultation process under the Maibuye banner. MK Party leader Jacob Zuma is expected to host a media briefing this afternoon to address the latest developments. And lastly, Israel's Security Cabinet has approved plans for a major expansion of the war against Hamas with the takeover of Gaza City. The aims include the disarmament of Hamas, the return of all hostages, and the establishment of an alternative civilian administration. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had earlier said his ultimate aim was the occupation of the whole of the Gaza Strip. There's been widespread criticism over the plan. The BBC's Mike Thompson reports.
The Prime Minister's office says the military will take control of Gaza City, where hundreds of thousands of Palestinians live. The escalation, defended by Benjamin Netanyahu, faces opposition in Israel, including from the families of the hostages who say their lives will be at risk. There is also concern that more Palestinian civilians will be killed. The move is likely to further isolate Israel amid international anger over the situation in Gaza. The Security Cabinet also adopted the 5 principles for ending the war, which include the existence of an alternative civilian government that is not Hamas or the Palestinian Authority.
Recapping on your top stories, the M23 rebel group has not received an invitation to peace talks with the Democratic Republic of Congo that are scheduled to begin today in Doha. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Ntsintsi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Minutes into 2 p.m. Welcome to the golden hour of The Upside. Mmatsheko Mosito holding down the space for you until 4 p.m. in Central African time. Thank you so much for your listening ear. We appreciate it. If you're streaming us audio-visually on YouTube and Facebook, well, welcome to the show. A pleasure to have you join in there as well. So in this hour, it's music, and more music, okay? DJ and producer Sobzine has stepped out from behind the scenes to claim his place in the spotlight where he deserves to be seen. So he's going to be debuting his album Itembalam, and it has launched already, as I understand it, but we're going to talk about the album. We're going to talk about the stories behind the album. We're going to talk about just his relationship musically with artists like Vusinova, Makadzi, Lerato Modise, and others. And we're talking here about Itembalam, which is an 11-track body of work, which we really appreciate. And it focuses on just keeping that pulse of Amapiano alive through the music. So we're going to be speaking to him about the music and about putting the album together. So I hope that you're ready. Any music releases in your part of the corner of the earth, wherever you may be? I would love to hear what's new in your town, whether you are in Accra or whether you are in Lusaka, whether you are in Maputo, whether you are in where else? Windhoek, anyway, really, Blantyre, Lilongwe. Listen, all of it. I want to hear what's happening in your town musically. Who is the hot artist right now in your part of the country, your country, a DJ, a producer, a singer, a songwriter, anybody who's really just big and blowing up in your country, you're most welcome to let us know on the space of The Upside. You can drop us a tweet. You can post your comment on Facebook. Anywhere where you wish to connect, we are there. Even on TikTok, okay? You can find us there as well. So let us know what is big in your country. Otherwise, we are looking forward to this conversation with DJ and producer Sobzina.
We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are The Upside.
Vue d'Afrique avec Joël Mouteba.
Cette peur d'un point de non-retour nucléaire suffit-elle selon vous à légitimer une telle offensive, monsieur Talati?
Absolument pas du tout. Cela fait plus de 30 ans que l'Israël crie haut et fort sur les toits, où il veut se faire entendre que l'Iran serait à 1 an pour obtenir l'arme nucléaire. Parfois, l'Iran serait à 6 mois, parfois l'Iran serait à 2 semaines pour obtenir son arme nucléaire. Et curieusement, jusqu'à ce jour, il n'y a toujours aucune preuve que l'Iran a obtenu cette arme nucléaire en dépit des déclarations d'Israël et de certaines puissances parfois.
Vue d'Afrique. Du lundi au vendredi de 15h à 16h, temps universel. Mix Vibration sur Channel Africa.
C'est notre invitée du jour, la belle Aïna Mwenze. Elle est là. Certaines l'appellent Boss Lady.
Bonjour Monsieur Jolino.
Parlez-nous un tout petit peu de vous.
Je m'appelle Boss Lady Aïna. Je mets l'accent sur le nom de Boss Lady parce que je mérite cela après le travail fait. Et c'est une rémunération en titre de la personne que je suis devenue aujourd'hui. Épouse et une mère de 4 garçons. Et voilà ce que je peux dire pour l'instant.
Et vous vous êtes lancé dans le business. Comment c'est venu?
En tant que mère et se retrouvant dans les pays étrangers, particulièrement en Afrique du Sud, je me disais que laisser les enfants sur la charge des travailleurs ou d'une bonne, ça serait pas très intéressant. Je me suis dit, je dois essayer de m'organiser et trouver un emploi que je peux faire.
Mix Vibration, tous les dimanches de 18h à 19h, temps universel.
Your afternoons just got even better, fresh and exciting. The Upside, hooking you up with today's news from an African perspective.
Jules, baby.
Trouble me, oh, she just bust my brain. She dey say she want my sugar cane, she dey twist my dress. Yeah, you sweet girls, yeah, you turn me up, and I'm in the craze for your body, so. Tell me what I've done to you, all I did was got to love for you. Tell me am I the one for you? Tell me am I the one for you? Tell me if I'm the one for you. Tell me am I the one for you? Because of you I sing this song for you. You made me go, Iskama, Iskele, Akba, Ilebe, Iskama, Iskele, Akba, Ilebe. I never told you that I never had no feelings. All this time I told you when you thought I was kidding. Ooh, that's very real. But you're killing me, that ice like a baby. She got that ass like a baby. Ass like a baby. She got that ass like a baby. She got ass like a baby. Give her. She want put it on the table. Ah, give me some of my label. Give her. Every time she available. Ah, all over here, go yeah. All over for me, the table. All over to baby, all over available. All over here, go yeah. All over for me, the table. All over to baby, all over available. I'm
14:14 on the digital clock. Welcome to the golden hour of The Upside. What a cool jam this is. Somiso, the title of the song by One Day Call. Thank you very much for tuning in. So it's a very musical hour, this one on a Friday, okay? On the eve of Women's Day in South Africa. It's the 8th of August today. So welcome to the show if you've just started listening. We are going to be getting into conversation and celebrating the release of a brand new album. So we're looking here at a person who moved from the decks to the center of the stage. DJ and producer Sobzin is stepping into the spotlight with his debut album Ithemba Lami is what it's titled. It launched recently at Azure on Monarch in the city of Sandton in Johannesburg. And this was an intimate event that was all about a gathering of friends, industry heavyweights as well within the space of music, and people that really just love to celebrate good music. So that was essentially what the launch was like, just to give you insight on that. But we are looking at him really coming into the space with fresh sounds that blend gospel. There's a bit of soul in there. There's vibrant pulses of amapiano as well. So a style Sobzin proudly calls Hope Amapiano. I've never heard of that before. Hope Amapiano. He's going to tell us more about that. Tell us more about just some of the featured artists on this particular project. And we're very excited to have him on the line. Sobzin, how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Good, thank you. This sounds like all kinds of success. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Talk to us about the debut album. I think let's start there because this is why we're here, to celebrate Ithemba Lami. Talk to me about, when you started conceptualizing ideas around the album, especially considering this beautiful, juicy blend between gospel, meeting soul, meeting amapiano. That's a very interesting trio you have there.
Yeah. Me creating the album was like this is my first album, so I wanted to show people like that music is my only hope. That's why I called the EP the project Ithemba Lami, because it's a sign of look at my cover art. I'm wearing like a cross. So the cross represents like the belief that I have for God. So also God is my only hope.
Okay. Okay. So I guess you've given us kind of a glimpse into the Hope Amapiano, but I want you to expand a little bit on that idea, especially how it then is reflected in Ithemba Lami, because Ithemba is hope, right? So I think that there's just such an interesting line there and connection with the work that you're doing. But talk to us a little bit deeper about or elaborate a bit more on the idea of Hope Mapiano and what you hope it will do for whoever it is that's receiving the music on the other end.
Ithemba Lami, like, as in my hope, doesn't mean it's a subgenre or something. It's not a genre. It's just the title for this particular album,
right?
Which, as I explained, it means my only hope, Ithemba Lami. But it's not necessarily like a subgenre or something. But it has a different sound because, as I said, my sound is very different from other people. Yeah, so if you are giving me a subgenre, if you are giving me like a name for a subgenre, that would be nice. Calling my sound Hope Amapiano.
Okay, I mean, listen, you can coin that, that can be your thing that other artists hop onto, and then it becomes a wonderful movement. We're in conversation with Sobzin. He's a DJ, he's a producer who's now stepped into the limelight with his brand new debut album titled Ithemba Lami. Let's talk again after this.
Got something to say? Are you passionate about issues that matter? Do you have a voice that deserves to be heard? Well, we've got the perfect platform for you. Call in or drop us a WhatsApp on +27 63 406 9126 and we will call you back so you could have your say and be part of the conversation.
30 years of age. I just turned 30 on the 15th of November. So that's who I am, you know.
It's not just talk, it's your chance to air your views, share your opinion, engage with the community that values your perspective. Follow us on our social media. Visit our website at www.channelafrica.co.za and get ready to share your views on Channel Africa, the African perspective. 9 to 12 midday, Central African Time. On the move with Palisa Tau and Benjamin Mushata.
Should influencers be expected to be impactful in society? If there is a social or societal conversation that goes up, should we be waiting eagerly to hear what the influencers have to say?
They are more than just entertainers. They are thought leaders to some certain degree. They influence culture. They influence people's thought processes. They set trends. They shape opinions of people. And the sad reality is, although a lot of them don't want to accept it, I think we're getting better with them realizing that embarking in that journey and in that space comes with a certain level of responsibility.
I see it differently in that, professionals are already good at their job, but there is an optionality that they might have to use the position that they hold in society to be able to deliver a message. This year you made the example of actors and actresses. So the same could apply to a sportsman. Just because someone's good at soccer doesn't mean that they have to have an influence over society from a specific standpoint.
Keeping you on the know and on the move. The Upside. On the Upside. Your voice matters.
Welcome back. In conversation with Sobzin, we are essentially celebrating the debut of his album Itembalam, and as he noted in the first segment of our conversation that this is his debut album. It's his first baby, okay? So it's very precious, and we are in celebration with him around this 11-track project. Sobzin, talk to me about the creative process. Everyone's got a different creative process, and because your sound is so different, as you noted, talk to us about putting together the 11-track project. Any standout moments or any challenges that you'd like to share?
Creating my sound is more like, my waking space is more influenced on how I feel. So most of the time I don't know how, I don't work if I'm not inspired. So most of the time I start putting together the music or the projects when I feel like it. Maybe when I think about something, maybe a certain baseline, then I will stand up and say, let me put this down. When I have an idea. So to me, my creative progress is based on what I feel or what I think. Because sometimes I'll be maybe using my phone, or maybe I hear something from a gospel song or a church song. Then I hear something that I can use to make a piano beat. So most of the time my music is not influenced by another piano genre or subgenre. My music is influenced by music as a whole. Jazz, especially because I listen to jazz most of the time. Though I didn't go too jazzy this time on my album, I went commercial. So most of the time it's gospel music, pop music that influenced my sound to sound commercial. So yeah, that's my creative progress. That's how I get creative, by listening to something or just hearing an idea on my mind, hearing a bass line or some melody, then I'll stand up and go and make a beat. Yeah.
Okay. It's interesting that it's just a couple of the themes. It sounds like there's a lot of faith and resilience in the music, but because of that and the incorporation of the gospel as well. So how has your personal journey and the things that you have been through influenced the messages in Itembalam?
To be honest, I didn't even tell the vocalist or the songwriters to write about gospel things. Maybe themselves hearing the instrumental, it gave them that feel of like hope, like that feel like, you know, when you are listening to an instrumental, sometimes the instrumental can direct you. That's man, let me talk about something positive rather than like talking about party, you know, all those things. So I think my sound as a vocalist, when you listen to an instrumental, when I say, can you please record this? Eventually you can tell, man, this song needs like something to talk about love, maybe, or God, something. I don't know, but I didn't tell like any writer to write about. All of them just wrote like positive lyrics.
Got you.
Sounds, yeah.
Who's featured on this album? Talk to us about the people that you've worked with.
I featured mostly youngsters, upcoming artists. I featured Pali Muloi, Yumi, Casey Sips, Zinhle, Nele SA, Songi. Then there's one big artist, Russell Zuma. Then when it comes to my instrumental, I have like people who played like chords, like sessionists, Happy Jazzman helped me, Neo Soul. Also, I have like Hon Silvati, he's one of the vocalists there. And I also have Mashul. Yeah.
Okay, so the album is out officially. People can check it out. Where can we find the album?
You can find the album on all digital platforms: your Spotify, your iTunes, your YouTube, your Deezer, your Audio Mac. I think all digital platforms you can get the album.
It sounds amazing. Congratulations once again. And I mean, if there's any tour dates that you want to talk to us about, you're welcome to do so. Anywhere where you're going to be going around South Africa and perhaps in other countries as well to promote this album, just out of interest?
For now, we're still planning on tours with the management.
Yeah.
We haven't really, we don't know yet where are we taking the launches and stuff, but we are planning on moving around South Africa for now. Then obviously when time goes by, we'll expand our boundaries to other countries.
Okay, sounds amazing. DJ and producer Sobzin joining us as we talk about the launch of Itembalam. All the best, Sobzin. Thank you very much for your time. Hey.
Thank you very much. Nice. It was nice having you too.
Thank you. We are fast approaching 2:30. It's 27 minutes past.
Roach Beats. Early mama, now your phone, I they call, baby. 247, maybe you are the one, baby. While I know yawa for you, baby. Chai pack well and balance well for me. Yeah. Baby, oh baby. Baby, oh baby. Baby. Yeah. Oh baby. Baby, oh baby. Chai back well and balance well for me.
I want you to pull me closer, baby. Oh, miss you, I can't lie. We don't build love where distance no fit corrupt. No yawa, oh, baby, tell me no yawa, oh. Back well and balance well for me.
Yeah, I know say things no balance, but you don't try for me. Yeah, and I go give you joy, cause I know strong man go there for me.
Yeah, good for you. Don't go give you story. Who wanna give you story now? So back well and balance well for me.
Yeah. Baby,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
baby,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
baby, baby, oh baby, baby, yeah, 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 oh baby.
Musical innovations coming through from Nigeria. Davido, this is with Baby featuring Tiwa Savage on this wonderful track. Thank you for staying with us. We're still in the golden hour of the Upside until 4 p.m. in Central African time. It's now 2:30.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
And a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Musibu Di Makura with the latest sports news at the Sawa. So a 10-man Kenyan side showed immense grit as well as resilience to hold Angola to a 1-1 draw in a dramatic Group A clash at the Total Energies CAF African Nations Championship tournament in Nairobi on Thursday night. Now playing in front of a boisterous home crowd at the Moy International Sports Centre, the Harambee Stars side were forced to play with 10 men on the park for over 70 minutes after Marvin Nambiri was sent off in the 21st minute. Angola lost their opener to Morocco. The draw now sees Kenya go top of Group A with 4 points from 2 matches ahead of Morocco, as well as the Democratic Republic of Congo, who both have 3 points. Angola's draw, meanwhile, leaves them with just 1 point, needing a win in their final game against the DR Congo to have any chance of progressing to the next round. Ghana international Thomas Partey has joined La Liga side Villarreal following his release from Arsenal. The 32-year-old who signed for Arsenal back in 2020 left the club, the Gunners, of course, when his contract expired at the end of June. 4 days later, Partey was then charged with 5 counts of rape against 2 women and a charge of sexual assault against a 3rd woman. Partey, who denies the charges, was granted conditional bail on Tuesday at the Westminster Magistrates Court. Now, under the conditions of the bail, Partey must not contact any of these 3 women and also must notify the police of any permanent changes of address or international travel. In a statement, meanwhile, Villarreal said they are aware of the player and the current situation is involved in and the legal proceedings in England. The charges, meanwhile, against Partey followed an investigation which started in February of 2022. Well, in case you missed it, Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko staged a stunning comeback on Thursday to defeat 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka 2-6, 6-4 and 6-1 in claiming her first ever maiden WTA 1000 title at the Canadian Open. The 18-year-old staged a remarkable comeback this after losing the opening set to the Japanese former world number 1 who had established a 3-love lead as Mboko struggled with costly service errors. However, the home favourite found her rhythm in the second set, breaking serve to establish a 5-2 lead. Osaka then struggled to catch up and her poor returns allowed Mboko to level the match as well as force a decider. The decisive moment, though, came in the third and final set when Mboko took a 3-1 lead, this after saving 4 break points in a pivotal 4th game that also gave her a firm grip on the match as she went on to claim the title after 2 hours and 4 minutes on court. Still on tennis news, the world number 1 Jannik Sinner said he had taken the right decision by opting for a long break following his Wimbledon triumph, and the recharged Italian now is ready at the facing off with his opponents in the upcoming Cincinnati Open, where he's set to hopefully defend his title. The 23-year-old lost a Marathon French Open final to rival Carlos Alcaraz in June before gaining revenge over the Spaniard at the All England Club just last month to secure his 4th Grand Slam title overall and 2nd of a difficult season in which he served a short ban for a doping offence. Now, Sinner opted to prioritise his health following that victory and will return after a near month-long absence from the circuit when he takes to the court over the weekend in Cincinnati after getting a first-round bye. The Cincinnati tournament is the tune-up to the final Grand Slam tournament of the year. That's, of course, the US Open that runs from the 23rd of August until the 7th of September. And finally, South African fast bowler Kagiso Rabada has urged his teammates to move on from their recent success in the ICC World Test Championship final and now concentrate on winning major trophies. The Proteas broke a long drought when defeating the Aussies in the WTC final at Lord's earlier in June. Rabada now wants his players and also his teammates rather to focus now on the task ahead and forget their recent success.
Yeah, I think it was special, obviously, I've done so many interviews on that. But yeah, I think it's time to move on now. I don't think we'll forget about that ever as a team, and South Africa won't ever, but time to move on now. Hey, the show moves on and we play the game of cricket. I guess so, I guess it is. It's kind of like a relief. But yeah, the show moves on, and moving into the T20 World Cup, we'll approach it as we always have. I guess it will be a bit different now, There's no fear of anything.
Right, so that concludes your sports news, Asawa. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us on +27 11714 4459. It is 14:35 p.m. Central African time. I'm back with the final sports update on the upside in the next hour. For Channel Africa Sport, I am Mmatsheko Mosito.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege.
So when you think of African music, you think of kwasa kwasa, high life music from West Africa, Afrobeat from West Africa, of gospel music or faith music or spiritual music. But when we think of reggae music, we go to the Caribbean, and if it's Africa, we only think about Lucky Dube. Well, I'm here to introduce you to some reggae music from Africa. Salif Keita with Dakan Faye from Mali. And I must say, this one was a real shock for me because I never had imagined Salif Keita on a reggae beat. But listening to him, it just proved to me how versatile he is as an artist because you'd be expecting him to be on that vibe of West Africa, of ballads. But he really proved that he is very versatile, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege.
2:36, let's check in with business news. Chanduko Ligege has the latest.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Mmatsheko. Good afternoon. The South African Reserve Bank Governor Lesitsha Kganyago has given assurance to the central bank's shareholders that the bank continues to engage with National Treasury regarding the inflation targeting framework. His comments come after Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana lamented the Reserve Bank for making a pronouncement on its preference to target inflation at 3% before any formal announcement was made by the government in this regard. Addressing shareholders at the bank's 105th annual Ordinary General Meeting in Pretoria, Kganyago says discussions with Treasury are ongoing.
And the only reason it was done now was because inflation is already there at 3. And economists complicate these things. They call it opportunistic disinflation. But the bottom line is that it is there. That is what it is. The target range is still 3 to 6. All that we did is that we will aim closer to the lower end of the inflation targeting range. Nothing more.
Meanwhile, Kganyago clarified the bank's targeting stance following statements by the National Treasury and President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier this week, suggesting that the bank has unilaterally changed the inflation target. Kganyago told shareholders that the inflation target remains 3 to 6% with a focus at the lower range of the target.
All that the Reserve Bank had to say was that the target range is 3 to 6. It's wide, but the target range is 3 to 6. We used to aim in the middle, and we said we need a policy cushion. We will aim at the bottom. Why now? Why didn't you do this thing 20 years ago and aim for the lower end? I mean, inflation targeting had been there for 25 years. And the only reason it was done now was because inflation is already there.
At the recent Frederick Norman Foundation for Freedom Symposium, South Africa's Minister of International Relations, Deko Lamola, addressed key issues shaping the country's role in global trade and geopolitics amid its G20 presidency. Speaking on the ongoing 30% tariff dispute, Lamola assured that South Africa remains actively engaged in negotiations despite the unpredictable global trade environment. He emphasized the need for economic diversification, strengthening partnerships with the EU, China and Middle Eastern markets, and leveraging the African Continental Free Trade Area as a critical platform for sustainable growth. That is all for now. I'll be back with another bulletin at 15:40.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective. The Midnight Snack, 12 to 3 a.m.
Young couples or young people that are getting married, we often hear of divorces, that they're getting divorced, and it's quite worrying because when we attend these weddings, we want to see these people flourish and celebrate 30-year anniversaries. What do you think is the main challenge that is facing newlyweds?
We say that tell me how you were raised and I'll tell you how you're loved. So when we see people getting married, that's not where the relationship actually starts. The relationship starts with how you were raised, what you were familiar with, because we are attracted to what we are familiar with. If you don't have a background where love was prominent, where love was authentic, it's going to be very difficult for you to manufacture that in later life. So our upbringing has something to do with it.
The Midnight Snack, every Monday, 12 to 3 a.m. with Chanduko Ligege.
Zilipendwa na Abedi Jean de la Croix.
Anaitwa Daniel Etienne Benson. Huyu alizaliwa mwaka 1997, ilikuwa Mei 14, na anajulikana kitaalamu kabisa kwa jina la muziki BNXN. Haya, ni mwanamuziki huyo, ni mwimbaji kutoka nchini Nigeria, mtunzi wa nyimbo na mtayarishaji wa record label. Ameshirikiana na Rema kwenye wimbo huu. Rema vile vile ni msanii kutoka huko nchini Nigeria.
Zilipendwa kila Jumamosi kuanzia saa 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati hadi saa 1 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
19 minutes to go till it's 3 p.m. in Central African time. You know when you're a DJ, ne, and you send us a mix, you automatically become a friend of the show. Listen, we're very excited. DJ and producer Sobzin, whom we just spoke to, came through with a brand new hit record. Well, we declare it so. It's going to be a hit record. His debut album, Itembalam, has officially launched, but also he's gifted us with a mix for this first Friday of August, or it's the second Friday, essentially, of August. But here we are, okay, on the eve of Women's Day in South Africa. Let's go.
Upside, your voice matters. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
A wonderful DJ mix by Sobzin coming through. He's a DJ, a producer, and just released his brand new offering, his debut album, Itembalame. So, as per tradition on our show every Friday. This is how we call in the wonderful energy of the weekend with a wonderful DJ mix. A quick one before we continue with the mix. The SABC is very pleased to announce the launch of the new self-registration platform. Vendors wishing to do business with the South African Broadcast Corporation can self-register on our internally developed platform. So vendors are able to access the platform on our website. Just go to sabc.co.za/SABC under tenders, or you can self-register at etender.co.za, and then you can follow the prompts from there. So visit SABC social media pages if you wish to get more information.
Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege.
So when you think of African music, you think of kwasa kwasa, high life music from West Africa, Afrobeat from West Africa, of gospel music or faith music or spiritual music. But when we think of reggae music, we go to the Caribbean, and if it's Africa, we only think about Lucky Dube. Well, I'm here to introduce you to some reggae music from Africa. Salif Keita with Dakan Faye from Mali, and I must say this one was a real shock for me because I never had imagined Salif Keita on a reggae beat, but listening to him, it just proved to me how versatile he is as an artist, because you'd be expecting him to be on that vibe of West Africa, of ballads, but he really proved that he is very versatile, and I was pleasantly surprised.
Africa in Song with Chanduko Ligege.
This August, we celebrate the strength, brilliance, and unstoppable spirit of African women.
It was the women themselves who strove for and got the changes by lobbying, going through NGOs, and by networking.
That's you, ladies. From the boardroom to the classroom, from the marketplace to the microphone, women are leading, innovating, and transforming our continent every day.
Oh, here's to knowing that as a woman, your voice can change the world.
Your voice matters. Your story inspires. Your presence is powerful. This Women's Month, we honor you. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
We take no sides, none whatsoever. We are the Upside.
When I was over,
No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
entabeni bahlezi bekhuluma indaba zabantu ngeke besize baluthe iqinisa likhe entabeni bahlezi bekhuluma indaba zabantu
athi ngakhuluma nginawo kulo mhlaba thina singaleqini sicela ushwele sasa siphinde soneko phela uyakhona kepha thina sinakho athi ngakhuluma nginawo kulo mhlaba thina singaleqini sicela ushwele sasa siphinde soneko phela uyakhona kepha thina sinakho sizophela kanjani sona sophela kanjani sizophela kanjani sona sophela kanjani sizophela kanjani sizophela kanjani sona sophela 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 kanjani
sicela ukholo sonile wobayede intezelelo baba wobayede sicela ukholo sonile wobayede intezelelo baba wobayede sicela ukholo sonile wobayede intezelelo baba wobayede sicela ukholo sonile wobayede intezelelo baba.
The Upside. On the Upside. Your voice matters.
How mina nginethemba hey mina nginethemba oh mina nginethemba oh mina nginethemba elimileyo oh nginethemba noma isimo simanzonzo.
So this is us enjoying the wonderful music and what do we call this? A soulful amapiano, or perhaps a term that he's coined in recent times, Hope Amapiano, coming through with a DJ mix by DJ producer Sobzin. He really took care of us in this half hour. Wonderful music coming through. So you thought our golden hour was musical? Well, it's going to get even more amazingly musical as we enter 3 p.m. We're going to be speaking to Nobuhle, who's debuted a new single, Always With Me. And we're also going to be catching up with Don Franco and talk all about Tafari, which is his EP that is also just been released. So a celebration of a lot of beautiful music and also recent music. So you get to get
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Mmatsheko. Looking at your top stories, the M23 rebels have not received an invitation for Doha peace talks, and southern Japan warned over heavy rain. Your latest news. Greetings to our listeners. The M23 rebel group has not received an invitation for peace talks with the Democratic Republic of Congo that is scheduled to begin in Doha today. A delay to the start of the talks risks disturbing an ambitious pledge by the two sides to end the fighting in Eastern Congo that has killed thousands of people this year and displaced hundreds of thousands more. The M23 rebels seized Eastern Congo's largest city, Goma, in late January as part of a rapid advance that has given them control of more territory than ever before. Under a parallel mediation effort hosted by Qatar, Congo and the M23 signed a declaration of principle on July 19th in which they vowed to start negotiating a peace agreement no later than the 8th of August, with the goal of reaching the deal by the 18th of August. Aid workers say more than 60,000 people have been displaced in a new wave of fighting in northern Mozambique, and half of them are children. The BBC's Shengai Nyoka.
A recent surge in heavy fighting in Cabo Delgado has uprooted nearly 60,000 people, half of whom are believed to be children. Some have been separated from their families. Save the Children said that in one district, armed groups targeted homes, police stations and schools with reports of looting. The impact of the 8-year conflict has been devastating to children, some of who have witnessed beheadings and been at risk of exploitation, child marriage and recruitment into non-state armed groups.
Zambian Attorney General Molilo Kabesha has welcomed South Africa's Pretoria High Court's decision to repatriate the body of the former President Edgar Lungu. In a unanimous judgment, the Pretoria High Court ruled that public interest succeeded personal interest when it granted the Zambian government the right to repatriate Lungu's body back home. This decision has not been well received by the family, as Lungu's sister Betha could be heard wailing in the court gallery in disapproval of the judgment. However, Kabesha says the judgment is justified, as Lungu should be buried in his country of birth because he was the president.
I think it's a learning curve that those who intend to become presidents of countries, they must know that they are not restricted to their family, immediate families, but they are spread over to the nation. And so we want to thank the court for having given the judgment. This is how far the government can go. It's to do its responsibility. The responsibility which is given to the government. And we have done what the public wanted us to do.
A surgeon at a hospital in the besieged Sudanese city of El Fasher says many children are dying as a result of severe malnutrition. The paramilitary rapid support forces have been trying to capture the city from the army for well over a year. The BBC's Will Ross.
Izzeldin Ahmed Daoud says young children have become just skin and bones because there's so little food in El Fasher. The surgeon told the BBC that those injured by RSF shelling are being brought to his hospital on donkey and horse carts as there's no fuel for ambulances. He also said his hospital was desperately short of medicine, including anaesthetics and antibiotics. Former rebels are for now helping the Sudanese army hold on to El Fasher, but they're losing ground, and the RSF stranglehold of the city is having a devastating impact on the more than 1 million people who are trapped there.
Lastly, people in southern Japan have been warned to be on alert after heavy rain caused flooding that raised the threat of landslides. Japan's also experiencing record high temperatures. The BBC's Mikey Bristow.
Japanese weather officials say intense rain in Kagoshima Prefecture has caused flooding that could trigger landslides. Residents living near rivers, streams and cliffs have been told to seek safer areas. Online images show damaged buildings, streets flooded with murky water and planes stranded at the region's main airport. Simultaneously, many areas in Japan are experiencing punishing heat, with a national record of 41.8 degrees Celsius set this week. Climate change has been blamed for more intense weather events.
Recapping on your top stories, the M23 rebel group has not received any invitation to peace talks with the Democratic Republic of Congo that have been scheduled to begin in Doha today. For any news stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or call us at +27 11 714 4459. Channel Africa News, I'm Onele Tsinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
We're 6 minutes into the final hour of The Upside. A pleasure to have you join us this afternoon. And if you've just started listening, well, here we are, okay? We're on until 4 p.m. and talking about music. That's the grand theme for today's show, in case you have been wondering what we've been talking about if you've just tuned in. Otherwise, if you've been with us since 1 p.m., I hope that you've enjoyed the mix and the conversations around festivals, that are happening in Johannesburg, around celebrating the contributions of women and everything else in between. It's a pleasure to have you come through. We're going to be chatting to Nobuhle. Nobuhle is a musical artist, okay, from South Africa, and she has released some wonderful music, and we're going to talk to her about that. We also have Don Franco, who's going to be joining us as well as we discuss his brand new EP. We're coming through with those conversations in a mo. It's 9 minutes into 3 p.m.
AUSISA, the Association of Water and Sanitation Institution of South Africa, is a platform uniting Africa's water professionals. This November, Africa leads the conversation on water and sanitation. Join global and African leaders at the AUSISA Africa and Global South Dialogue 2025 from the 9th till the 12th of November at the Emperor's Palace, Johannesburg. From policy innovation, this is where action meets collaboration for a water-secure future. Register today at ausisa-watersan-dialogue.org or follow at AUSISA on social media. AUSISA, working together for sustainable water and sanitation security in Africa. Zochitika ndi Madaphiri. Kamlondola wa Zochitika pena paliponse.
Nduna wa zamalonda ku Malawi aletsa kampani yopanga shuga ya Irovo yomwe ndi nthambi ya Irovo Sugar Group Limited kuti isiye kutumiza shuga ku maiko akunja. Malingana ndi nduna ya zamalonda Vitumbuko Mumba, izi zithandiza kuti shuga yemwe yakusowa pa msika azipezeka. Ndiye pano ndili ndi George Muhangu amene ali mu mzinda wa Blantyre mu dziko la Malawi. Chimene chikupangitsa kuti shuga azisowa ndi chani?
Chomwe chikupangitsa kuti shuga azisowa ndichonena kuti panopo ili ngati off season ya makampani a Irovo Sugar Malawi, kunena kuti sakutha kupanga shugayi okwanira chifukwa akukolola. Ndiye akamaliza kukolola pameneno atayambeno sopano kugaya shugayi kuti azipezeka. Chinanso ndichonena kuti ma distributors amene akumakagula shuga kaya ndi ku Irovo kaya ndi kusalima shuga akumagulisa ku maiko akunja ngati Zambia, Zimbabwe, Tanzania, Mozambique.
Zochitika ndi Madaphiri. Lolemba mpaka lachisanu pa nthawi ya 7 koloko kufikira 8 koloko madzulo pa Channel Africa.
Nkhanza zokhudza amuna ndi azimayi
kapena kuti gender-based violence, GBV, zikuononga mioyo komanso kuphwasula midzi. Zikuchitika m'manyumba, m'masukulu, malo ogwirira ntchito, ndipo kwambiri mwakachetechete. Koma sizikuyenera kupitirira. Mukazimva yankhulani. Ngati mwakhuzidwa, funani chithandizo. Chifukwa kusachita chilichonse sikuthandiza. Mverani kuma wireless onse 14 a SABC kuchokera lachitatu pa 23 mwezi uno wa Julai kuti mumve zokambirana, malangizo, masewero, zionetsero za maphunziro ndi mafunso okhuza nkhanza za amuna ndi azimayi ndi akatswiri, anthu opulumuka ku nkhanzazi, kukhazikitsa lamulo komanso dziko lonse lokhuzidwa ndi nkhanzazi. Zonsezi pa wireless yomwe mumayikonda ya SABC. Imbirani pa nambala 0800 428 428 kuti munene za nkhanzazi kapena kupeza chithandizo. Nkhanza zokhuza amuna ndi azimayi zimatha ndi inu. Uthenga ukufikani kuchokera ku SABC.
The Upside with Tebogo Likuleni and Mmatsheko Mosito, bringing Africa's voices to the world. On Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Nkosi cela umusa unamanxeba ngiphe isineke undendlela besuthela umlilo ofuthayo usitha zami besuthela uthando luningi kweyami impilo. Ungifihle nabayami nababenzinge ungifihle twala lami nababenzinge ungifihle nabayami nababenzinge ngiphe isineke ulendlela bese uthela umlilo ofuthayo uzitha zami bese uthela uthando luningi kweyami impilo ungifihle nqaba yami
Coming through with some brand new music, proudly Southern African sounds from Nomusa featuring Kabza de Small. Umusa, if we were to translate that into from Nguni language in South Africa to English, grace. Very simply, it would be grace. I love that title. So beautiful. So we're 16 minutes into 3 p.m. Welcome to The Upside with Mmatsheko Mosito until 4 p.m. We are in celebration today, okay? We continue to celebrate proudly African music with South African songstress Nobuhle, okay? She's coming through and she is back with a powerful new single as you hear it now. This is a single that we're celebrating. And it's a moving collaboration with the Amapiano maestro Kabza de Small, blending some spirituality, some soul, deep emotional pulse of Amapiano as we hear it in the song. And it just sounds so beautiful, you know, heartfelt, like a prayer, like protection, like strength, all those good themes coming through in the music. So Nobuhle, soaring vocals float over Kabza's rich textured production as you heard it. And if that's not going to make your day and your weekend as we get into Women's Day tomorrow, I don't know what is. So let's talk about celebrating this brand new hit, Nomusa, as we heard it this afternoon. Today, I'm very honored to catch up with Nobuhle. Nobuhle, welcome to Channel Africa.
Hey, hi everybody. Hey. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me.
What a beautiful piece of music, Sissy. Talk to us about just these beautiful, deeply spiritual and emotional elements that you wanted to see come through in the song.
I think everything that everybody hears and everybody is listening to is exactly who I would say I am as a particular person. I grew up in such a spiritual family, home of prayer. I was raised by a spiritual healer, and all the time when I started singing, because I started when I was a child, like a very young age, my grandmother used to say, wherever you go, always represent us, because what we do at home, who we are, the world is supposed to hear it. You know what I mean? So I've carried that with me. And I think every time I create, I have that at the back of my head. It is something that I live and I breathe. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think that's why it sounds that way.
Girl, I know what you mean. You know, when you come from a good home, like it comes out in the music. Like you just can't help it, you know? How we were raised comes out in the work that we do. Talk to me about collaborating with Kabza de Small. I, sort of described him as, the man at the pulse of the sound. So how did you get to meet him? How did you get to work with him as you put forth this track?
Oh, no, us meeting up is really a fun story, because he just sent me a DM, and that was years ago, before he took out his second album, King of Amapiano. I was so shocked. I was like, oh, there is no way. But I think he was really just interested in my voice and how I wrote my music, and he wanted something that's very spiritual. So all the time when we are trying to make music together, he knows he needs to bring me in the studio when he really wants to go deeper, because it's such a beautiful child of God, and he knows that he's a child of God. So the sounds, the music, the drums, the beats that he makes, whenever I'm in studio, it is always rooted in, we want to give people something they can heal from, something they can learn from. And our relationship has been so amazing. Hence, there's Umusa that we just released together, and other beautiful songs that we have released together. And there's going to be more, because we particularly work very well together. He's such a humble person, man.
Wow. Beautiful, beautiful collaboration. A lovely story. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Nobuhle joining us on the line, and we're talking about the release of Nomusa featuring Kabza de Small. We'll be right back.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine, weekdays 6 till 9.
In recent weeks, East Africa has seen a disturbing rise in human rights violations. In Kenya, digital activist Rose Njeri was arrested under the Computer Misuse and Cybercrimes Act after creating a tool for citizens to oppose the Finance Bill 2025. Meanwhile, in Tanzania, Kenyan activist Boniface Mwangi and Uganda Ugandan lawyer Agatha Atuhaire reported being detained, tortured, and sexually assaulted by security officers.
East Africa needs a reset. We need to get back East Africa to where the founding fathers are. When President Nyerere and his colleagues, Jomo Kenyatta and the Ugandan counterparts fought for independence, they fought for independence to get Africans out of poverty, to get Africans out of slavery. The leaders who took up power have since gotten into regression.
Neto Agostino, co-leader of the United Green Movement Party.
Mornings made better with Peter and Asanda on Rise and Shine. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
Welcome back. We're celebrating new music with the release of Nomusa, that is between Nobuhle and Kabza de Small. They came through with this wonderful track, and we are just talking about the inspiration behind the music. Nobuhle, let's talk about just going forward. Nomusa is out. Do you plan to come out with a full body of work post this song doing the rounds?
I know, of course. I am currently working on my third studio album. It's going to be called Imvula Rebirth. It's following up to that EP that I had in July. It features Kaza the Small, Oskido, Young Stana, Kozazana Daughter, Tato Hatri, Isake, Josiah, Black Motion. It's going to be a packed, full body of work. And I cannot wait for everybody to hear it and really just to put the face and really understand what everything is about. So yes, I'm in studio and I'm cooking and I'm up and down and I'm making music. And today is such a beautiful day. It's Women's Month.
Yes.
We are all over. We're celebrating women all over.
Oh man, I love your energy. I love your energy.
Thank you so much, my love.
Oh man, Nomusa, how have people received the song so far?
Umusa, it's grace.
Umusa.
Yes, Umusa. When we say Umusa, we understand it as it's a clear, it's bleeding. It is deeply rooted in that church whole thing of saying, whenever we are coming into the hands and the feet of the Lord, all we ever say when we are feeling like we are shattered and we are going through so much, we say, Lord, we are asking for grace. And may you please grant us that no matter what is going through, what we are going through individually, all we need right now is the patience, it's the grace. You know what I mean? So my message is clear with Umusa featuring Kaza the Small. If you listen to it, you're going to feel your wounds just getting better. I think you'll get some clarity on whatever it is that you're going through, and hopefully you can heal.
So you're clearly forcing us into healing, I love that. I really just love seeing how women in South Africa and other parts of the continent are moving more towards creativity to express who they are, to heal themselves, and as a consequence then heal others that are absorbing this work into their orbit. Let's talk about you as a feminine contributor to Amapiano as a movement. Okay, we're seeing it grow in leaps and bounds, not only in South Africa, but globally. How do you see your music contributing to the genre's evolution?
I think it's like a testimony that even when sounds are evolving, and they're evolving all the time, I think female voices over time, they are what makes the sound the way that it does. And I think all of the time, people like me come as a reminder that even if there are sounds and different sounds that have been born, there's always a need for female voices to tap into the culture, because we are the face at the end of the day. We are the people who show our faces. We are the people who write the songs as well, also in collaboration with other producers. So I think for myself, I want to see that part of, even if it sounds like dance music and it's something that it may take a while for us to understand, but I think that there's such a beautiful wave of spiritual healers and spiritual writers and spiritual creatives who are coming from different spaces of music, tapping into it. And I want to see that grow. I want to see other people coming after me. I want to see the sound crossing all over, and I'm here for it,
We are here for it. We're here for it. I didn't ask you. Tours. Yeah. Talk to us about performances and tours. Of course, today is the eve of Women's Day. What's happening tomorrow and perhaps any other time of the month for you?
I know. Tomorrow you catch me at Mpumalanga. I'm going to be there at Sheila's Club launch, such a Polishi Sports. The women are going to be wearing a mapini. So we are all doing this in memory for Women's Month. So I cannot wait for everybody. Anything else that's coming up, you'll catch it on my social media at Nobuhle Music, Twitter, Nobuhle Music, Instagram, Nobuhle Music, Facebook, and all over. So just keep on the lookout.
Nobuhle Music. Okay, please follow her on all the social media platforms if you want to get more details. If you're just, curious about who she is, maybe you're hearing her wonderful sound on our show for the first time and want to go a little deeper, you can follow her there. Nobuhle, thank you for Umusa. We really appreciate that. We really just are inspiring each other. Collective consciousness is growing through music and other creative spaces. All the best for you and the music, and to Kabza de Small as well. We send our best wishes. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Enjoy your day.
And happy Women's Month for tomorrow.
Thank you. You too. Happy Women's Month to everybody who's listening at home. Thank you so much for having me, Mana.
Nice one. 26 minutes past 3 p.m. You know what I really love is the fact that spiritual messaging, healing messaging is no longer just reserved for the gospel genre. We're hearing it in all kinds of genres, and it's so beautiful to see the movement of Amapiano doing that, taking that baton and running with it the best way they know how. Nomfundo Mo coming through with proudly South African music, Izibusiso, blessings. To translate that from Nguni into English, that's what Izibusiso means blessings. So this is us spreading the good news for you on the upside until 4 p.m. Let's check in with sports. It's 3:30.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
And a very good afternoon from the sports desk. I am Mosibu Di Makura with the latest sports news. At the Sawa Bafana head coach in the African Nations Championship tournament, Mmatsheko says it will be important to manage their opening game against defending champions Algeria in Uganda later on today. Bafana, who arrived in Kampala on Monday, play their first Group C match, hoping to catch up with teams that have already started this year's tournament. Mmatsheko says the previous game in the tournament have proven that the teams are proving to be dangerous in the later stages of this competition.
Algeria has played their first game, which is somehow good for them because they did well against the host, Uganda, having to score 3 goals and also getting maximum points. So as we are coming in to play them the first game, the good thing about them is that they have done their own analysis of their team. But from our side, we are still to play our first game.
Now, Mmatsheko says he's under no illusions that they are in a very tough group and the opening matches in Group C have proven just that. He also points to a 3-0 win that the Algerians registered against the host nation, Uganda. This has proved that they are here to defend their title.
We are also talking about Algeria being the defending champions. So I think in our group, it's a difficult one because we have the defending champions and the host. So we'll always give respect to our opponents. And in us giving respect to our opponents, it's competition, and we are here to compete and to do our best and represent our country.
10-man Kenyan side showed immense grit as well as resilience to hold Angola to a 1-1 draw in a dramatic Group A clash at the Total Energies African Nations Championship Chan tournament in Nairobi last night. Now playing in front of a boisterous home crowd at the Moi International Sports Centre in Kasarani, the Harambee Stars were forced to play with a man down over 70 minutes after Marvin Nabweri was sent off in the 21st minute. Angola lost their opener against Morocco. The draw now sees Kenya go top of Group A with 4 points, with 2 matches played ahead of Morocco as well as the DR Congo, as both teams have 3 points. Angola's draw now leaves them with 1 point and needing now a win in their final game against the DR Congo to have any hopes of progressing into the next round. In tennis news now, Canadian teenager Victoria Mboko staged a stunning comeback on Thursday to defeat the 4-time Grand Slam champion Naomi Osaka 2-6, 6-4 and 6-1, claiming her first WTA 1000 title at the Canadian Open. The 18-year-old staged a remarkable comeback this after losing the opening set to the Japanese former world number 1, who had established a 3-love lead, as Mboko now struggled with costly service errors. However, the home favourite found her rhythm in the second set, breaking serve to establish a 5-2 lead. Osaka then struggled to match her, and her poor returns allowed Mboko to level the match and force a decider. The decisive moment came in the third set when Mboko took a 3-1 lead after saving 4 break points in a pivotal 4th game that gave her a firm grip on the match, as she went on to claim the title after 2 hours and 4 minutes of play. Staying with tennis news, world number 1 Jannik Sinner said he had taken the right decision in opting for a long break following his Wimbledon triumph, and the recharged Italian now is ready to fire the Cincinnati Open, where he will be hoping to defend his title. The 23-year-old lost a marathon French Open final to rival Carlos Alcaraz in June before gaining revenge over the Spaniard in the All England club just last month to secure his 4th Grand Slam title overall and 2nd of a very difficult season in which he served a short ban for a doping offence. Sinner opted to prioritise his health following that victory and will return after a near-month-long absence from the circuit, where he will be taking to the court over the weekend in Cincinnati after getting a first-round bye. Now, the Cincinnati tournament is a tune-up event for the final Grand Slam tournament of the year, the US Open, which takes place from the 23rd of August to conclude on the 7th of September. Well, it's a wrap from the sports desk at the Sawa. I do return with a final sports update for the day in the next hour. For any sports stories you'd like to share with us, simply send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za or give us a call +27 11714 4459. It's exactly 15:35 p.m. Central African Time for Channel Africa Sport. I am Mosibu Di Makura.
Sports on Channel Africa. The African Perspective. Are you fluent in French, Chinyanja, Portuguese, and Kiswahili? Are you passionate about radio? And are you looking to work in South Africa? Do you have papers that qualify you to work in South Africa? In that case, we might have an opportunity for you to work for Channel Africa. Send us your CV and demo at newsroom@channelafrica.co.za. Remember, if you don't hear from us within 14 days, it means you have not made it or you have not been selected. Channel Africa, the African Perspective.
Okay, 15:36. Let's check in with business news. Chandugo Ligege, what's happening?
Business news on Channel Africa. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Mmatsheko. Good afternoon. The South African Reserve Bank Governor Lesitsha Kganyago has given assurance to the central bank's shareholders that the bank continues to engage with National Treasury regarding the inflation targeting framework. His comments come after Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana lamented the Reserve Bank for making a pronouncement on its preference to target inflation at 3% before any formal announcement was made by government in this regard. Addressing shareholders at the bank's 105th annual ordinary general meeting in Pretoria, Kganyago says discussions with Treasury are ongoing.
And the only reason it was done now was because inflation is already there at 3. And economists complicate these things. They call it opportunistic disinflation. But the bottom line is that it is there. That is what it is. The target range is still 3 to 6. All that we did is that we will aim closer to the lower end of the inflation targeting range. Nothing more.
Meanwhile, Kganyago clarified the bank's targeting stance following statements by the National Treasury and President Cyril Ramaphosa earlier in the week suggesting that the bank has unilaterally changed the inflation target. Kganyago told shareholders that the inflation target remains 3 to 6% with a focus at the lower range of the target.
All that the Reserve Bank had to say was that the target range is 3 to 6. It's wide, but the target range is 3 to 6. We used to aim in the middle, and we said we need a policy cushion. We will aim at the bottom. Why now? Why didn't you do this thing 20 years ago and aim for the lower end? I mean, inflation targeting had been there for 25 years. And the only reason it was done now was because inflation is already there.
South African Transport Minister Barbara Creecy has announced the appointment of an interim board at the Road Accident Fund. This comes after the state-owned entity's board was dissolved following persistent governance and operational challenges that have beset the institution. The interim board will be in place for a period of 6 months or until a new board is appointed. The agency has in recent times been entangled in a protracted and costly litigation on the application of accounting standards with the Auditor General's Office. Another instability that attracted uncertainty at management level was the suspension of CEO Collins Litswalo. The African Development Bank will take the lead in helping to raise $7.8 billion for a new airport in Ethiopia. When completed in 2029, the airport will be the continent's largest and will have the capacity to handle 100 million passengers a year. State-owned Ethiopian Airlines signed an agreement for the design of the 4-runway airport near the town of Bishoftu, around 45 kilometers southeast of the capital Addis Ababa. While presenting Ethiopian Airlines' financial results, Chief Executive Officer Mesfin Tessiu said the airport's total cost will be $10 billion, with the airline providing 20% of the funding and the rest from creditors. France's multi-billion-dollar bottled water industry is facing a growing scandal after revelations of widespread use of illicit filtration systems. And under the EU law, natural mineral water is supposed to be unadulterated. The BBC's Hugh Schofield reports.
France's Watergate scandal, as it's inevitably been called, broke out a year ago after a media investigation revealed that at least a third of well-known brands had had recourse to illicit methods of filtration of their water, apparently because they were concerned about contamination. The treated water was obviously safe. The problem was that under European rules, natural mineral water is not supposed to be treated at all after it leaves the ground, except to be carbonated.
$1 in Nigeria is trading at 1,000 naira 527, Botswana 13.39, Kenya the dollar is at 128 shillings 6, Zambia 23 kwacha 57. BRICS countries, $1 in Brazil is at 5 real 45, Russia 79 rubles 45, India 87 rupee 56, China 71.18, South Africa $1 is at 17 rand 73 cents. $1 is 74 pence to the British pound and 85 to the euro. Looking at commodities, gold is at $3,389, platinum at $1,313 per ounce. The price of Brent crude oil $66.82 a barrel. That is all for now. For any business stories you'd like to share with us, please send us an email to newsroom@channelafrica.co.za, or you can call us on +27 11 714 4459. For Channel Africa Business, I am Chanduko Ligege.
Business news on Channel Africa. The African perspective.
África. Conhece o Ntivani?
Claro que sou eu.
Ntivani é o amante da música de corpo e alma.
Eu amo música africana.
Ele aprecia todos os tipos de melodias e passa os seus dias a ouvir a Channel Africa. Adivinha só, a Channel Africa quer ajudar o Ntivani e os amantes da música em todo o lado a descobrir ainda mais música incrível. Por isso, a Channel Africa está a convocar artistas africanos a submeterem as suas músicas. Músicos, lembrem-se de nos dar todas as informações relevantes no music@channelafrica.co.za. As submissões são a vossa oportunidade de ser ouvidos, mas não garantem inclusão na lista. Todas as submissões serão cuidadosamente analisadas para verificar se cumprem os requisitos da nossa estação. Canal África, a perspectiva africana.
Stella Longwe. Pamalonje.
Palitu sokoma pano pamalonje. Kumvera nyimbo za mu Africa kusangalala, kupeza moyo, akuti kumva moyo kuti kuyenda bwino pano pamalonje. Ndiyetu apa tili ndikatswiri oyimba ameneyu ndikatswiri wa dziko la Malawi amene akukhala mdziko la South Africa ndipo amayimba amene akuti ndi Big Nick Malawi. Yatusani kuti kodi moyo wanu woyimba ukuyenda bwanji mu Johannesburg?
Moyo woyimba ukuyenda bwinobwino kwambiri, chiliyonse chikutheka ndithu bwinobwino.
Ayi aziwoneka chiliyonse chikutheka mofa magrasi anu apa mwaka akuti kumenya yonse aziwoneka zoti azikutheka ndithu mu Johannesburg.
Malonje pa nthawi ya 6 koloko kufikira 7 koloko madzulo. Lowiruka ndi Stella Longwe. No matter where you are, Channel Africa is always with you.
Protect you all the days of my life. Pretty, pretty little daughter. Make me smile. You make me dance. You make me feel like a king in this way. girl. Every time we kiss and caress, we no see the rest. No say man a smiling tonight. When she look at me, me no say me a AP. Out the sky and the heavens have it praise. Give on thanks unto the Almighty One. Protect me wife, protect me kids, everything. Tonight it's gonna be a party, just me and that candlelight. Everything is on. No holding breath tonight. Give me your body, make me give you my body. Forever promise be there for you. Never let you down, never let you make you up. Look how it never leave it. I'll always be there. I'll never leave it. I'll always be there. I'll never leave it. I'll always be there. I'll never leave it. I'll always be there. Musa mubate maduwe wangu. Musa mubate maduwe wangu.
Coming through with some brand new music from Don Franco Tafari. And this is us enjoying some brand new music as we continue to celebrate releases, brand new releases in this hour on The Upside before we wrap it up. So we're going to be speaking to Don Franco Tafari about the music, about the release of his brand new EP, the inspirations from artists like Bob Marley of Jamaica, Oliver Mtukudzi of Zimbabwe, Brahuma Sekela of South Africa. It's going to be such a wholesome conversation. So stay tuned as we get into that in just a bit. But a quick one, the SABC is pleased to announce the launch of the new self-registration platform. Vendors wishing to do business with the SABC can self-register on the internally developed platform. Vendors are able to access the platform on etender.co.za, and then so you log on there and then you just follow the prompts from there. Very simple. Visit SABC social media pages for more details.
In this episode of Channel Africa Conversations, Peter talks to Dr. Tulisile Buddha, an academic, author, and an expert in indigenous knowledge systems. Join us for a compelling discussion on preserving African languages and traditions in the digital era. Dr. Tulisile unpacks the role of educators, explorers, and how technologies like AI can support cultural preservation, and challenges us to rethink how we honor African heritage. You can find the episode on YouTube, SABC Plus, and on our website, channelafrica.co.za. This episode is a must-listen for educators, creators, and change makers across the continent. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
Darubini ya Afrika na I am Henry Shakif.
Jumuiya ya maendeleo ya kusini mwa Afrika SADC imeanza kuondoa vikosi vyake vya kulinda amani kutoka maeneo ya mashariki mwa Jamhuri ya Kidemokrasia ya Kongo DRC kupitia nchi ya Rwanda. Hii imekaje?
Kinachojionyesha sasa, tayari jumuiya ya kusini mwa Afrika SADC imeanza kuelemewa kwanza na gharama kubwa za kuongoza operation za kijeshi kule mashariki mwa Kongo.
Hii inaleta tafsiri gani haswa katika nchi za Afrika ambazo ziko ndani ya machafuko hivi sasa? Hii inaleta tafsiri gani haswa kwa mataifa ya Afrika?
Cha kwanza kwenye diplomasia, tafsiri ya kwanza ni hitaji nchi kutatua matatizo yao wao wenyewe. Mfano kinachoendelea Sudani Kusini, kinachoendelea Kongo, Rwanda, Uganda.
Darubini ya Afrika 11 kamili hadi 12 kamili majira ya Afrika ya Kati.
She builds, she leads, she rises. This August, join Channel Africa in celebrating the women who shape our communities, shift narratives, and carve out a future on their own terms.
These
women together ought to be able to turn it right again.
From Cape Town to Kigali, Lagos to Lusaka, African women are rewriting the script. Here's to courage, creativity, and unstoppable progress. Channel Africa, the African perspective.
This is The Upside for the best African vibes. Groundbreaking content.
All right, 10 minutes to go till it's 4 p.m. in Central African time. Don Franco Tafari, and we are talking about Madube. I think we're still trying to get him on the line. Hey, Mr. Technical Operator. Oh, he's on the line. Okay, so we are moving. We're moving musically. We're moving from Zimbabwe to South Africa. Don Franco Tafari has spent over 2 decades crafting a very unique sound that is a blend of his African roots, but also he incorporates that soulful Jamaican reggae into his sound. His music is a powerful fusion of Afro reggae, roots, dancehall, Afrobeat. I mean, all the good genres that have made, just peaceful music what it is today. So there is also a big spiritual empowerment theme in the music as we hear it by Don Franco. And his latest project is titled Fuko ya Nevanji, or Prince's favorite beer clay pot. Yes. Prince's favorite beer clay pot. Oh my goodness. It dives deeper into his signature sound, inspired by legends, as I'd mentioned, like Bob Marley, like Oliver Mtukudzi, like Hugh Masekela, and he joins us on the line for a quick chit chat. Don Franco Tafari, welcome to Channel Africa.
Welcome. Thank you very much for having me. Blessed love.
Listen, you are the king. You are the king. You are lively. You are happy. You are creative. Talk to us about the last 20 years and what you've learned, what you've picked up in the music that has ultimately shaped your career as we see it today.
Thank you very much. The last 20 years, I'm not going to lie to you, they haven't been very easy, and now I understand why my mother protected me from the industry, because my mother saw my father trying to be a musician and how it broke him, and how he later gave up. So when I was busy trying to balance the academics and the music as well, my mother would try to push me away up until it got to a point where she knew that she cannot stop me anymore, So the thing that she was trying to shoot me away from was the fact that you need to grow a thick skin when you get into this genre, and you need to be very patient as well. And also the fact that sometimes after working so hard and thinking you've given your best, the people might still come and say, we're not really feeling it, So with me, I started creating music when I was still in high school, when my mother was against it.
Right.
And then I recorded my first project when I was in high school. Then afterwards, I had to continue tertiary education and everything, get myself a job, because I discovered that the music needed money, even though I was still making music in the background. And when I got into the music, one of the biggest things that I learned over the years is originality. Like that's one of the most important and biggest things, And when I started, I thought getting the fame was the most important thing, and then afterwards you get the fortune as well, Yes. And along the way, I kind of lost myself because I wanted to sound like what was already there. Up until I got to a point where I said to myself, okay, whatever that I need to be, something that is within myself. I don't need to go out there seeking for how I need to sound, but it's already in me. Whatever that I can resonate with, basically it's just all me, without me trying to sound like anyone else.
That is such a beautiful story, really such a beautiful story. And you're very abundant in your mindset, and it filters into the music because you've spread your wings so far and wide into, Afro reggae, into roots, into dancehall, into Afrobeat. I mean, that for me is really an abundant mindset. Talk to me about your influences. I see some really powerful names here: Bob Marley, Oliver Mtukudzi, Hugh Masekela. They all have formed such a powerful brotherhood back in the day. How have they influenced the uniqueness of you as an artist?
Growing up, I stayed in a neighborhood where Oliver Mtukudzi used to visit a lot, and we used to listen to them jam session, and there was just something about it, He wasn't big at the time, but he knew where he was going, because that man started creating music in the late 70s, like around 78, and his fame only came around 2000. So if you look at that whole thing, you can see how many years it took him. And there were times where he was, where I would have, if it was me, maybe I would have changed because of pressure and just go and do secular music that I do not feel, just because the people that I started with are already famous and everything. But then he just stuck to his sound, perfected it up until it was right. So I learned that from Oliver Mtukudzi, and the perseverance that he had, and how much he believed in himself, even though the world did not believe in him as much as he believed in himself. And with Brayu, I met Brayu. I grew up listening to Brayu, but I'd never seen him in person. And I saw him performing at Joburg Theatre. And because of the connections that I had, I managed to get backstage pass,
Yeah.
And I was watching him, and I had a Jamaican friend of mine. And the Jamaican friend is a big artist as well, but they sat down and they said, "You have gold. This man is everything." And he spoke about the authenticity. He spoke about the unity in Africa. He spoke about the Malawians, the Zimbabweans, everything, the unity. Like, watching him perform, I had so many emotions going through my mind, through my body. And I said to myself, if I have to live my life and give my everything to music the same way this man does, I'll die a happy man. So from there, Brayu got in my heart, and he got his name tattooed in my heart. And with Bob Marley, I grew up listening to Bob Marley. My father used to play a lot of Bob Marley, but as I was growing up, it was more like the music that we were forced to, because my mother loved him. So every weekend, my father loved him. So every weekend it was always Bob Marley. And me and my mother would always rebel to be like, can we have some different genres? My mother would want church songs. But it wasn't up until he was gone that I connected with Bob Marley to a level that I understood what my mother was, what my father was experiencing, And it was then that I said to myself, the soul that is in Bob Marley, like his love for music, yes?
Sorry, I'm going to hurry you along because we've run out of time. I want to talk very quickly about Fukoyane Vanji. Please tell us about this album very quickly. We've got like a minute.
Okay, Fukoyane Vanji basically speaks about my love story. It speaks about the trials, the tribulations, the betrayals, and the beautiful love at the end of the day. So basically it summarizes my love, my whole love life. Fukoyane Vanji and in the Mutapa tradition simply meant the prince's favorite beer claypot, which was translated to the concubine, which was later translated as well to the king's best friend, who happens to be his wife. So basically it summarizes my love life.
Okay, interesting. Very interesting. Where do we find it? Tell us very quickly where we can listen.
All digital platforms. YouTube is there, Spotify is there, iTunes is there, everywhere is there. It's out.
Okay.
7 days old.
Fukoyane Vanji by Don Franco Tafari. Please check it out. What an interesting human being he is, and very abundant in the music. Okay, so in just a short while, we're going to be making way for a news bulletin at 4 as we wrap up the Upside and then get into Africa in Business. Tami Ngubeni is standing by to fill us in on what's to come for the Friday edition. There is just drama everywhere. Lulu Gabu and I were talking about the tariffs imposed by Trump in India, with an additional 25%, bringing the tariffs now to 50%. I mean, it's a circus all round.
And also what's quite surprising as far as India is concerned is, we remember Narendra Modi was actually in the United States not too long ago.
Yes.
And relations seemed very positive. On that side. But we'll continue looking at the US tariffs again. And every Friday, we've got Victor Khomuswana, who joins us this afternoon to look at the latest business news as far as the African continent is concerned. And one of those stories that we'll be touching on is Rwanda agreeing to a migrant deal with the United States. Trump is hell bent on getting those immigrants out, and Rwanda, they're raising their hand to be of assistance. So that's just one of the stories that we'll be looking at this afternoon on Africa in Business. Also looking at the Women's Summit and also the infrastructure challenges that the continent has, and issues of financing around that also under our radar.
Okay, lots to look forward to. It is 4 p.m. Listen, have yourself a wonderful day if you are going to be in celebration for Women's Day, okay, the 9th of August in South Africa. It's a big day politically, really tributing the women of 56. Happy Women's Day, Queen, for tomorrow.
Happy Women's Day to you, Queen. But as you know, it's Women's Month for us. We don't just take the day, we take the entire month. So
the whole month is ours.
There you have it. The world is ours.
Yes, a good month to be in deep reflection. Have a wonderful weekend. We're back with the Upside on Monday.
Get Channel Africa on DSTV Audio Bouquet. Channel 802.
It is a very good afternoon to you, Tanzania. Good afternoon, Rwanda, Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire. Good afternoon, Zambia, Eswatini. Good afternoon to you, Libya, Kenya, Somalia, Ethiopia. Good afternoon, Egypt. Good afternoon, Africa. Welcome to Africa in Business on Channel Africa. I'm Tammy Ngubeni. This is where you get the African perspective. It's where we meet to look at the latest in news, sport and business. Standing by with your latest local, continental and international news at 4 o'clock, here is Onele Nzinzi.
SABC News. The African Perspective.
Thank you, Tammy. Looking at your top stories, Zambia's Secretary of the Cabinet to take over late former President Edgar Lungu's burial plans, and southern Japan warned over heavy rains. Your latest news. Greetings to our listeners. Zambian Attorney General Mulilo Kabesha says that the Secretary of the Cabinet will now take over the proceedings in determining when the late former President Edgar Lungu will be buried. Today, South Africa's Pretoria High Court put to finality the matter between the Zambian government and the Lungu family on his final resting place. The full bench of the High Court has granted the Zambian government's application that Lungu must be repatriated back to his home country for a state funeral, much to the displeasure of his family. While the details of Lungu's funeral are not yet known, Kabesha says the government will not proceed with the arrangements without consulting the family.
We continue to mourn with them. It's normal that people can be emotional when this happens, but I think it calls for people to cool down. When they are mourning, they will continue mourning like that until when we bury, and that so that we bring the issue to closure.
Aid workers say more than 60,000 people have been displaced in a new wave of fighting in northern Mozambique, and half of them are children. The BBC's Shinga Nyoka.
A recent surge in heavy fighting in Cabo Delgado has uprooted nearly 60,000 people, half of whom are believed to be children. Some have been separated from their families. Save the Children said that in one district, armed groups targeted homes, police stations and schools with reports of looting. The impact of the 8-year conflict has been devastating to children, some of who have witnessed beheadings and been at risk of exploitation, child marriage and recruitment into non-state armed groups.
South Africa's Deputy President Paul Mashatile has reaffirmed the government's commitment to